Hello, Papa Ted here. If we could just all take a moment and bask in the awesome opening music of FEZ. So yeah, FEZ, you might have heard of it. It's been out for a couple of years now. Originally released on Xbox 360 by Phil Fish, who you may know from watching Indie Game the movie, and if you've not seen that film, I recommend it. It's a good film and gives you quite a lot of insight into how these indie developers work. But since then, it garnered quite a bit of reputation through Phil Fish and through the game itself. He was famously misliked on a lot of social media. I think personally unfairly. I feel quite bad for the guy. He might have been a bit harsh in some of his comebacks, but I think he had a hard time of it, and I feel a bit bad for him. But the game he's created here, FEZ, is one of my favourite games of the last 5 years. Just try to think back. Definitely, probably one of my favourite games of all time. If I was to make a top 10 list, it would be in there 100%, and it's definitely my favourite indie game of all time so far. So it was in development for quite a few years, and it was delayed many times because it's quite an ambitious project. It is played in a 2D sprite sort of world. As you can see here, the graphics are just beautiful, absolutely perfect graphics in my opinion. I just love the style, and the music is just gorgeous. You then find a FEZ, funnily enough, and this hat gives you powers to rotate the world in 3 dimensions, and this allows you to solve puzzles, and it's such a peaceful game. It's really relaxing. It's one of those Sunday games, but it's also a head scratcher. It makes you think. It's not an easy game, but it doesn't punish death. If you fall and you die, you'll just respawn exactly where you dropped off the edge. It doesn't take you back to a main menu screen or anything. It's just about enjoying the game and the world that you're in. So obviously it garnered quite a bit of reputation and good reviews, fantastic reviews when it came out, and was then released onto PC and onto PlayStation 3. And quite recently, within the last couple of months or so, it was released on PS4 and PlayStation Vita. So I have had it on Xbox 360, PS Vita and PS4, so I've played this game quite a bit. I've never actually completed it because you have to collect cubes to go through doors which allow you into the next world, and I think there are 50 cubes in total, but you only need 32 to get to the final area, and I refused to go to the final area with just 32, and I wanted to get all 50, but I've never done that. The 361 was the one I played the most, but it was free on PSN, so I had to go back onto it on my PS4 and PS Vita and play this absolutely stunning game. If you like, it's hard to say really, because it's like nothing else. There are other massive indie games of the time, Rogue Legacy, Binding of Isaac, Super Meat Boy. They all kind of come from that same sort of era of indie games when they were really becoming massive, and they could show AAA producers and developers that indie developers are here to stay, because they can make games that are just as good and just as complex as AAA titles. And FEZ is one of them. It's my favourite indie game of all time. this is just a genius bit here where you can see the world starting to rotate. This just blew my mind how clever it was. The puzzles are tricky. Kind of harks back to the old days where you needed to crack out a notepad and pen to jot down some of the button combinations, some of the secret areas, and where to find them. So, why am I doing this review now? Well, I don't stick to a timeline, obviously, with my reviews. I just do them when I feel as though I know sufficiently about the game to give my opinion on it. And FEZ is one that I've wanted to review for a long time. It's one of my favourite games, as I said, and I just think that it's worth another little look at, and I wanted to express my opinion on this because it truly is one of the best indie games of the last few years. And if you like puzzle games, you like adventure games, you like games that make you feel nostalgic, it's just got that feeling of nostalgia, even though you've never played it before. It just reminds you of those games where you had to crack out a notepad and pen and jot down the button combinations or the secret areas. It's just a fantastic feeling. It relaxes me so much playing this game, and I recommend it to anyone who thinks it is worth their time. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you didn't mind this old Scottish gamer harking on about an indie game that he loves to bits, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Cheers for watching.